Good afternoon, everyone. We're glad you're with us for THV 11 News at noon. I'm Karen Fuller in for Journey Taylor. The news of the day begins in Northwest Arkansas, in Bentonville, the hometown of former Arkansas governor and, as of the last hour, official candidate for the Republican nomination for president, Asa Hutchinson. THV 11's Craig O'Neill is there and he joins us live. Craig, you were up and early at it about 6 a.m. this morning. Tell us about this big day.
Well, first of all, we think it might be snowing up here in Bentonville before the day is over. It is cold and it is cloudy, and his announcement came outside of the Benton County Courthouse, which happened at around 10:30 this morning. Nice, cold, and breezy for what he hopes will be a hot campaign as Asa Hutchinson looks to, who is 72 years old, looks to let 72 be the new 47, as in the 47th president of the United States. He was brought onto the stage by his wife, Susan, and he talked about the economy primarily. He talked about his years, his resume as the governor. He talked about his hopes for the United States. He talked about China and Ukraine and foreign policy, which was understanding because we had the national media here wanting to hear what he would have to say about these national and international issues. And of course, in Arkansas, we know our former governor, as being mild-mannered and also easygoing, but there was a point where he didn't mind taking the gloves off.
As a nation, we have proven resilient in our democracy, and we have endured through times of war and hardship. And I am confident we will even survive through the destructive policies of the Biden administration. But the time for change is now. It is time to bring out the best of America.
And even though Asa will now face the looming presence of former President Donald Trump, he did not mention Trump. In fact, there was no mention of any of his immediate competition for the nomination. A lot of people came up from Central Arkansas, including Wilma and Monica and Charles, who join me now. And why did you make the trip, Wilma?
Well, I started calling his office about 2 years ago to try to get him to run because I was really disappointed with January 6th. And when you have your leaders, and especially the president, allowing crime in the White House and he's participating in it, you can't really talk about the people who are on the streets doing the crime. So,
well, real quick, are you glad you made the trip?
I am very glad I made the trip. I am really happy that I made the trip.
All right, guys, we'll be racing you back home because we've got a lot more to talk about when it comes to this announcement today. I will tell you that there was a crowd of about 1,000 people, Karen, that turned out on the green in front of the county courthouse. It was a richly American scene, all American scene,
Sure.
which was put on for good reason when you're announcing for the presidency of the United States.
It is.
Of course,
and
we'll have more tonight at 5, 6, and 10.
Craig, while we have you there, this is a man who has experience with both the DEA, the Homeland Security Department. How does he go from making his name a household name in Arkansas now to the nation, if not the world?
That is going to be one of his big hurdles, and it didn't help him at all that the President of the United States, Joe Biden, was also announcing his return to, wanting to return to the White House. So Asa's announcement today kind of got covered up in that announcement by the President of the United States, by Joe Biden, so he got an extra degree of difficulty today up here in Bentonville, and his biggest chore now will be to go out to the rest of the country and prove that he can deliver what he delivered in, or he says he delivered in Arkansas.
Understand. You're so right. Thank you, Craig. We appreciate your coverage. We'll hear from you tonight at 5 and 6 as well. And if you'd like to hear or see Asa Hutchinson's full kickoff speech, we have it available online. You can go to THV11.com, the THV11 app, or our YouTube page.
And like you heard Craig O'Neill say, it's a cool day in Northwest Arkansas, but it's a cool day all across the natural state, all because the deck of clouds in place keeping the numbers down. It's 57 here in the capital city, 57 in Clinton, 56 in Arkadelphia, a little bit clearing in southwest Arkansas. And we had some rain out there earlier this morning. The rain has really become much more spotty in nature, but it's not going to stay that way because look what's happening in Oklahoma and northeast Texas. We've got showers and storms developing. That will weaken as it moves into Arkansas late this afternoon into this evening, but the chance of rain will be going up just in time for the evening rush. A little bit on the breezy side. We got that wind kicking in from the east-northeast about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So your planner today, temperatures will be lucky if we get into the mid-60s. That may be a little bit of a stretch. Most locations will stay into the low 60s for highs, low 70s into South Arkansas, with that chance of rain really ramping up later today into this evening. I'll let you know how much more rain I'm expecting and when we'll see some drier and warmer conditions coming up.
Nathan, thank you. New at noon today, new details on Jeremy Hutchinson. He's a former state senator and the nephew of Asa Hutchinson. His prison sentence in a corruption case is being extended by another 50 months. Our partners at Arkansas Business say the additional term is to be added to the 46 months he received in a tax fraud case in 2022. Jeremy Hutchinson pleaded guilty in 2019 to accepting more than $150,000 in bribes in return for legislative favors and government funding. As of now, a jury is seated to hear a civil lawsuit against former President Donald Trump. This is in New York City, where former Elle magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll claims Trump raped her in the mid-90s, then defamed her when she went public about it in an autobiography published after he became president. He has repeatedly denied the allegations, calling her claim, quote, a hoax and a lie, saying she used it to promote her book.
It's a civil case, so it's not a criminal proceeding, so he doesn't have to worry about jail time or anything like that. But it can be serious civil ramifications. We're talking about money here, and it could be a significant amount of money.
Trump's attorneys are indicating that in all likelihood he will not testify. To World News Now, where the Pentagon is confirming a senior ISIS leader responsible for a deadly attack on Americans and Afghans during the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan is now dead. U.S. intelligence agents learned of the killing. The ISIS-K leader is not named yet, but is believed to be the mastermind behind the attack on Abbey Gate at Kabul's airport, which killed 13 American service members.
I opened my eyes to Marines dead or unconscious lying around me.
In a statement, the Defense Department says it did not take part in this operation. The National Security Council says it was carried out by the Taliban. And now to a THV 11 update close to home on the response to a shootout in Conway. City Council members have voted unanimously to increase the budget for police officer overtime. That's after the move for an increased police presence needed, they say, at parks during games and tournaments. Monday night, T-ball and softball games were interrupted by the sound of gunshots. Fortunately, no one was injured, but of course it's affecting the people who were there.
We went to eat afterwards, and I was just kind of numb after that. And my 5-year-old on the way to go eat, he's just constant questions like, "Mommy, what was going on? Why were it was gunshots, and why would somebody do that?"
It is why Mayor Bart Castleberry says these changes are necessary.
The piece of not looking over our shoulder at a place where you take your children and your families for entertainment and enjoyment was shattered. It's a shame that we're going to have to do this, but I think it's time to step up as a city.
In terms of what actually happened Monday night, police tell us 2 people were shooting at one another at the Don Owen Sports Complex. Officers got there in less than 3 minutes, but those people had already left. As part of Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' effort to crack down on crime, her corrections secretary just broke ground on a new prison expansion in Batesville. Secretary Joe Porfiry framed the new 300-bed facility as a first part of the newly passed Protect Arkansas Act. The sweeping parole reform bill tries to reduce the state's violent crime rates, mainly by locking up violent offenders for longer sentences. And for that to work, the secretary says you have to have more prison space.
It begins the process of what I look at as the immediate, intermediate, and future expansion of the Arkansas Department of Corrections.
This facility will house mainly parole and probation violators when it's finished. That's scheduled for April of 2024. And in North Little Rock, cleanup crews are making progress at Burns Park. The tennis center and golf course are now open, along with the youth baseball complex too, but you can only reach it by taking Joe K. Poach Road. Burns Park continues to host debris drop-off at the Hospitality House parking lot too, and the rest of the park is still closed for now. Burger and honey butter chicken biscuit fans, this is a day you've probably been waiting for. Whataburger finally opening its doors on Chanel Parkway. It becomes the 10th location in Arkansas, but the first in Central Arkansas, and it is right next to a brand new Taco Bell and Costco. But wait, there's more. Other locations are on the way with plans for stores in Benton, Searcy, Maumelle, and in Malvern. You use them every day, but have you ever thought about how emojis may be helping to hide our real emotions? In just 7 minutes, what new research is revealing. But first, let's do a quick check of the weather with Nathan.
And there may be some sad emojis being posted because of all the clouds and more rain expected. We've got more showers and storms moving in here later today, and we will continue into parts of your Thursday. More on that detailed forecast coming up.